Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of the CircWorks live stream. Today we're getting a little closer to Halloween, so I'm going to do some of my favorite characters, the Monster Cereal characters from General Mills, Monster Cereals, Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry, you know them all. So anyway, so I've got some basic sketching. I'm just going to tighten this up. This is Count Chocula here. And I'm going to finish the penciling, just tighten it up a little bit, then I'll go ahead and add some inks and then some colors. And I know a lot of people, there's people that watch the live stream from countries outside the US, and I'm not real sure if these characters are as familiar out there, if they have them out there. I'm actually curious to know if you guys if in different countries have these cereals. Or if it's just maybe it's just a North American thing. I've always loved the designs of these characters, um, and they've changed throughout the years. They just released a new what is it, like, I think five cereal set. They brought back two of the Munster characters or Munster cereals that were discontinued, Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute. They look quite a bit different than they used to, but it's still nice to see them. I like all the different interpretations that they do over the years, um, but I still, I'm basing these sort of a little bit more on the classic versions. There's people that actually collect the cereal boxes. I don't, so I don't know if people have been collecting them for how long, but they probably get a bunch of old stale cereal. But that's the thing with collecting. Like, I know people that collected like soda cans that have certain sports figures or things like that on them. But I had at one time, I had, when the Star Wars prequels out, I bought a bunch of Pepsi cans that had all the different characters, and I don't know if I still have those, if they're in storage, but they started leaking and it was a mess. So it's but those are probably the good things to collect, because if they do go bad or if they do get damaged, I mean, that makes them more valuable if they are in good condition. So anyway, so there's good old Count Chocula. I'm going to go ahead and start inking him in. This is the Pentel Pocket brush that I'm using right now. I like how his hair kind of has these two sharp points. I mean, the original character designs of these Monster Cereal mascots were really, really well done. My favorite's got to be Frankenberry, which I think I'll do next. But when I do my own version of Dracula or Frank or a vampire, I usually do the same kind of pointy, a similar pointy hairstyle. The long nose. If you look at different versions, his nose kind of changed. I think the new one, it's almost like a beak. And the new one meaning the 2013 versions that they just released. He's got that big smile. If you aren't familiar with these, just go to YouTube and search Monster cereal commercials. And I mean, some of those original commercials are just great. The animation, I remember like when you look at the first cereal box designs, they're pretty basic, but you look at the animation on the commercials, I mean, it's really great. They're always fun to watch. I don't know if it's just because I don't watch as much commercials now that, you know, I don't watch that much TV anymore, or, when I do, you can kind of skip through the commercials. I smudged a bit here. You might be able to fix that with an eraser. We'll see. Um, I got to slow down. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was talking about cereal commercials. I don't know if they just don't make as many anymore, or if I'm just not seeing them. But those and like the old Hostess cupcake and Twinkie the Kid and Fruit Pie the Magician, all those guys. I love those commercials too. Maybe I'll have to do some sketch cards with some of those guys. I'm going to see if I can actually. Maybe I should. I don't know if I should wait. Sometimes I can erase some of these smudging. It might just smudge it more. I'll see if I can fix that a little bit. Anyway, I'll come back to this when I go to color it. So let's move on to Frankenberry. I'm gonna tighten him up a little bit. Now here, this guy, like, honestly, he's one of my like all-time favorite character designs because he's kind of this. You can almost say he's kind of got a steampunk vibe, but I think he was created way long before I think there's any notion of steampunk. But and not by the, I mean, its color scheme's quite a bit different. It's not like the old rusty, you know, color schemes that you get with traditional steampunk. But he's got gauges and steam whistles poking out of his head, and he's just pretty unique looking. And these big eyebrows. And the funny thing about him, oh, hold on. Here's his steam whistle here. Yeah, when you draw a Frankenstein character, I mean, there's so many different interpretations of the classic Frankenstein's monster, but um, it's hard to get away from some of the classics like the bolts in the neck and all that. But I think they did some interesting stuff when they designed Frankenberry. Whoever did, I actually, I actually went on um, Wikipedia to find out some of the history, but I was surprised it's really short. They really don't talk about much about the Munster cereals. I was curious, like, who created them and like who inspired them, as far as if they were based on any celebrities at the time. A lot of animated characters are, and like some of the characters you can kind of see some influences and something with whoever they hired for the voice actor. But here, his head, he's got this butt head, which is kind of funny. And in the new version, he doesn't have that, which is kind of sad because they got away from that. I don't know, but his head almost looks like a butt. All right. Let's see if I can take this a little slower so I don't smudge it. Kind of ran out of room over here where this little steam gauge is, so I had to bring it over a little bit in front of his head. It's supposed to pop out a little more towards the side, but I don't know. It might work this way. Kind of got limited space on these sketch cards, so I don't think it looks too bad. It's kind of awkward and kind of off kilter, so that fits with the design. Around his eyes, he's got like almost these little portholes like you'd see on a submarine, or there we go. For the nose. Tooth. He's kind of got a goofy look on his face. He's a little dense, so you know. Big chains. The thing about like the original Blueberry, he also had chains. He's the ghost, the Blueberry ghost. And I think the newer version, I don't know that I think they got rid of the chains on him. And some versions of him I've seen him with chains, some not. And I don't know if that's because maybe they figured, well, Frankenberry's already kind of got the chains going on. I'm not sure. Okay. And these aren't totally finished inking. I'll add some more to it, but I will do that after the color. Hopefully that'll dry enough. I just smudge that. Man, it's like some days these pens smudge, sometimes they don't. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. So I'm moving on to Blueberry. And he came a little later. He was like the third Munster cereal after Frankenberry and Count Chocula were already out. And evidently he was the first blueberry flavored cereal. And my version is more closer based on some of the original designs. The new one's quite a bit different. Like they changed the color of his hat, and he doesn't like here. He looks. I mean, if you've seen the commercials, he's kind of the voice actor. I think Paul Frees did his voice, who did a lot of the like tons of stuff like the Rankin and Bass Christmas specials and all those, but it's kind of got like a Peter Lorre voice, which the old version kind of captures that look, but the new one not so much. His body's kind of wavy because he's a ghost, of course. Look at his bow tie going on. With him, I'll draw his hands in a little bit. Oh. That's Boo Berry. I wonder, maybe I should give him a little tongue. There. Kind of reminds me like a cross between Peter Lorre and like a Bing Crosby. I don't know. Or maybe Art Carney has kind of got that same kind of hat. All right, let's see. Let's move on to one of the lesser known characters, but like I said, they brought him back out this year, Yummy Mummy. Which is kind of a mummy that's made up of fruit colored bandages. He came along later. I think he's the most recent addition to the Monster Cereal Gang after Fruit Brute, which I'll probably do next. I don't know if I'll get a chance to color them all today, but I'll at least go ahead and ink them. But I think he replaced Fruit Brute. I'm not sure the reason why they discontinued Fruit Brute. I mean, as far as design and just the name alone, Yummy Mummy. I mean, that's it's pretty clever. So I guess maybe that's the case. But I don't know that there's any difference between the flavors of the two cereals, which is strange because they're, like I said, they're both out right now. I mean, they're both fruit flavored. So. And on YouTube, I saw. I don't remember. I don't remember the commercials with Yummy Mummy from when I was a kid, but he almost had like a Wolfman Jack style voice, which looks a little like it doesn't fit the character, but it worked pretty well in the animation. And hopefully, a lot of these references I'm throwing out are like older celebrities and people that were actually popular before, even before what I was around. But I some people, I always hear people make the excuse that, oh, that was before I was born. I don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, I don't know if that's that much of an excuse. I mean, I know about movies and stuff that happened before I was born. So do your research. If I mention somebody, you're like, who's that? And I'll do some research. You might find something interesting. Draw a little bit of his hands coming out here. All right. Well, that's yummy mummy. Got one left to do. Let's see, Fruit Brute. Which obviously is the werewolf character. Let's see. He's kind of, his hair is kind of like all over the place. He's kind of spastic looking. Let's see. Let's see. I guess I should have, some of these, when I started doing these, I was fleshing out the pencils a little more, which I forgot to do on these. So hopefully these lines will look okay. Yeah, give him his fangs. Tongue. More crazy hair over here. All right. And he's got these kind of fruit striped Oreo. Oh, what was it? Overalls. Oreos. What am I? Overalls. I got like sweets on the mind. Okay, that's my version of Fruit Brute. For better, for worse. Let's see. Now do some coloring. Count Chocula. What colors can I use? I'm just gonna break out my browns. looks good enough for me. Start with this. Wonder if that's too dark. Let me see. That might be too dark. I do like that brown, but might need to mix it with a lighter. Let me go with this first. I think that's a little better. Got some shadows with this other one that I was using earlier. Let's go with this hair here. I don't know what color his eyes are. This will probably work. Looks like most of the places where I smudged is going to be a dark brown, so that should cover it. Okay. Let's see how dark this is. This is quite a bit darker. Oh, maybe I'll do the inside of his mouth a dark brown too. And find a good color for the tongue. Find one that's a little darker than that. Let's see what this looks like. Nope. Let's see. That'll work. Okay. So now that I got most of that done, I'm going to go ahead and go back over and add some darker outlines. Oh, I should have waited to do the background color, but I'll come back to that. Okay, Count Chocula. I'll go back and I will actually do a little background color there. Let's move on to Frankenberry. Oh, finally, this is I think the first like pink character I've done in a while. So, and for whatever reason, this marker set I bought came with more pink than almost anything else, which doesn't really do me a lot of good until now. These are like real. A lot of them are like super bright. I guess I should do this here so you can kind of see. That's pretty good. That's a little lighter one. Let's see if this one is more of a peach color. Some of these are like super bright. I guess on some of the interpretations these pretty bright. Maybe I'll go back. Let's see. That's way bright. Maybe these two. These two, and then I'm gonna need something that's a little more magenta. That's good. I don't know what will mix with that. Let's try this red. Maybe. Let's go with these for now. So, which... That's the lighter. Okay. These lighter colors tend to smudge a little more, so I'm trying to be careful here. Okay. His face is that pink, and then most of the other little details are more of this darker, like a hot pink or magenta. I'm not showing his hands here, but I mean, he's just got a lot of details. Like his fingernails are actually strawberries, which you won't see here, but I don't know. I'm trying to look on my screen at some pictures here, but I'm not seeing any. What color his chains are? If they're just gray or if they're like pink too. I guess they're gray. Okay. I think his clothes are more this color here, so. Let's see if this red will work good with the magenta. Not really much of a difference. Might add a little bit to it. We can't even see that. Maybe a darker red. This might be too dark. Oh, this might work. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Let me see what. That's kind of bright. I was thinking about using that for the background. On the screen, I was just looking on the screen. You don't see it. It's like really, really bright. Um, Maybe let's see what this color looks like. Yeah, this light pink will probably work for the background. God, it's very similar to the one I have. Wish they would have gave me something different. Different markers. I mean, some of these are like the same almost, and then I've got like certain greens and things that I don't even really have. So. we go. Okay. I'll call this guy a day. Frankenberry. Let me go back to Count Chocula and I'll add the background on him so I can finish him up. Most of these I'm kind of doing more of a monotone, so I'm not gonna, like, I could put like a blue background here. It might pop him out a little more, but I think since the idea is this guy is chocolate, that's a pretty important aspect. So we don't want to, we want to keep it with mostly browns. Not chocolate. All right, that's my blueberry. Let's see what color blues I have. Well, that's pretty dark. I don't think he really has that kind of a blue. That's more of a aquamarine. Same there. Wow. That one might work for like his eyebrows, maybe. Hope I can find a. That one definitely will work for something. So latest version, he has like a blue and purple hat, and he's mostly like a blue and purple character because he's blueberry. And I was going to do the hat in yellow because that was the original design, but that almost contradicts what I said earlier about I can maybe see why they changed it now because they want to keep everything that monotone and keep everything like blueberry, you know. So maybe the yellow hat doesn't look as good in retrospect. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it with the yellow hat or not. I like the classic look, but I'm kind of seeing why maybe they changed it. So I'll save that till last on this guy, and maybe I'll make a decision by then. That's kind of a nice blue, but it's not. I've got to have. Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe this is what I'm looking for. That's pretty good. I like that. I think that'll work. All right. I'm going to keep a little white around him. Hopefully make it look a little more like a ghost. What do I want to do here? I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the purple and blue, but I don't know. I like that classic. So the classic, he's got a red bow tie. Man, decisions. Let me go ahead and just do his. think I'll go with the classic. So in the newer versions, he's got purple eyelids, but I'm going to go with the classic. Give him sort of a droopy eyes to go with the voice, which is that Peter Lorre kind of like I don't know if I can do it. Like, master. It's kind of like, you know. I don't know if that gives you enough idea. That's about as good as I can do, but yeah, you'd know the voice if you heard it, because it's been, even in modern cartoons and stuff, it's been used quite a bit, a similar style voice. All right. No. Has to be. I wonder if this is too dark. Man, they I got all these pinks and not the kind of blues that I want. Oh, here, that'll probably work for his eyes here. I'll make the inside of his mouth blue. So if I go with the classic look, he's gonna have a red bow tie. So let's see what color. Reds look good. Might as well do the band, his hat band, which would also be red on the classic, the original. Yellows. They didn't give me really any good yellows in this set either. I usually like the orangish yellow. Let's see. That'll work. Let me try this one. These two oranges are so similar. All right, here we go. Maybe I'll do, since I took out the newer purple that they changed the hat and the bow tie with, maybe I should do that as the background color. Let's see, what's good purple? What's this color? It's more of a gray. I don't know if I like that one. That's pretty dark. Maybe I'll go with a different color blue. I think I'm going to go with this blue instead. Darker blue. I don't think I'm gonna have time to color Yummy Mummy or Fruit Brute on the live stream. I like to keep these at about an hour. But I will post them to my website when I'm done. Or not my website, but probably my Facebook page and maybe Instagram. So you can follow me on Facebook /Serkworks, SERKWORKS, or Serkworks on Instagram, and then you'll be able to see the Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy when they're done if you want. And I'll post these guys too that I did. So. So, see what I got. There you go. Here. These are the unfinished ones. That's Fruit Brute, Yummy Mummy, which I will finish, and like I said, I'll post those. So but these are the finished ones. So that will conclude another Serkworks Artcast. Thanks for joining or watching or whatever you guys are doing. If you're watching live or if you're watching the recording. No one in the chat this time, which I'm doing an earlier time, which a lot of people are. If you're living here at the same time zone that I'm in, that you're probably either in school or possibly at work. So I'm sorry about that, but I do have a lot of people that follow me in other countries, and sometimes they complain because if they want to watch me, they stay up till 2 in the morning. So we'll see. So I can't please everyone. So I'll keep switching it around, and I don't know how important it is to actually watch it live, especially if you're not in the chat communicating. That's really, to me, that's the only reason to really watch it live if you want to participate. Otherwise, the recording should be fine. Okay, thanks again for joining me, and I'm trying to do one of these a week. The schedule's it's not anything concrete, but I think I've been doing, since I started, I've been doing about once a week. So hopefully I'll see you again next week. And in order to find out when that's going to be, just follow me on Facebook or Twitter at Serkworks. And I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.